This week we are going to do the most important basics of geometry. The geometry we are talking about here is classical Euclidean geometry. The word geometry comes from the Greek word for earth and measure or measurement, and the original purpose of geometry was to measure land and to do astronomy studies. The four basic concepts of geometry are the point, the line, the plane, and the solid. By the way, a point has 0 dimensions, a line has 1, a plane has 2, and a solid has 3 dimensions. The topic of 3 dimensions is also called solid geometry. Solid geometry deals with measurements of volumes of solid figures like cubes, rectangular prisms, pyramids, cylinders, cones, spheres, and so on. In this video, we'll focus on the absolute basics, which are a point, a line segment, and a ray. And in the next video, we'll focus on a plane, also called surface, and on solids, which is about volumes. Let's dive into it and get started with the first basic concept, which is the concept of a point. A point is represented by a dot and is used to tell us an exact location in space, like the center of a circle, for example. We use a dot to visualize a point that lacks size. A point has no length, width, or thickness and is named by a capital letter like A, B, C, and so on. This is point A, which has another location as point B, and this is point C, which has another location as point A and B. Let's look at the concept of a line. A line can be thought of as an infinite number of points. A line is an infinitely long object and has no width, depth, similar to a point or curvature, and is named by 2 distinct points on the line. For example, A and B. Or by a lowercase letter, for example C. We pass the points A and B a little bit and draw 2 arrows to indicate that a line goes on in both directions forever. In other words, a line never ends in both directions, just like the number line, for example. This line contains A and B and is represented by AB with a double arrow line over the top, or by a single lowercase letter such as C. Notice that the lowercase c does not represent a point here. It's the name of the line. When A, B and C are on the same line, we say A, B and C are collinear. If AC equals BC, then we call C the midpoint of AB, because C is exactly halfway between. What is a line segment? The part of a line which has the two endpoints A and B in this example we call a line segment. It is denoted by AB with a line over the top. In other words, a line segment has a beginning and an end. So this is the line segment AB. So we have a line with no endpoints, which goes through the points A and B, and we have a line segment with the endpoints A and B. Let's look at something which has an endpoint on one side and no endpoint on the other side. We call this a ray. In other words, a ray starts at a point and goes forever in one direction. So rays have a beginning point but no ending point. They just keep going on forever, but only in one direction. So we only put an arrow on the end which keeps going forever. The point at which a ray starts, which is A in this example, is called the endpoint of the ray. AB means the ray starts at point A and goes on forever in the direction of B. And BA means the ray starts at point B and goes on forever in the direction of A. We call this the ray AB. Calling this the ray BA would be wrong. So a ray is basically a combination of a line and a line segment. Instead of writing ray AB, you can just write AB with a single arrow line over the top. So this was the first part of the absolute fundamental concepts for geometry. In the next video, which is the second part, we'll learn what a plane, also called a surface, is and what a solid is. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. This video is what I did for you. If you want to do something for me, hit the bell button, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and happy learning, everyone.